Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Blaze. And this film is written and directed by Ethan Hawke and is starring Ben Dickey as Blaze Foley, who is a country western singer. And I didn't realize he was a real person, and I did look it up. He is a real person, and it's a character study. It kind of feels like a Scorsese film in the sense that it's basically lives and dies upon this main character that you follow along. But the way that the story is told is not like a Scorsese film. Ethan Hawke does his own thing, and honestly, the big thing that sticks out to me is Ben Dickey, who plays Blaze Foley, and he was extremely charismatic. He had a lot of screen presence, and he really carries this film throughout. And if it wasn't for somebody having that big of a character themselves, I feel like this film wouldn't work as well, because you really need to have somebody who can carry a character study like this, because Scorsese had De Niro, and De Niro carried Taxi Driver, he carried Raging Bull, and then with Wolf of Wall Street, he had Leonardo DiCaprio to do that. And this film, Ben Dickey is the one that really carries this film on his shoulders, and he's such a big, large human being, and he just gives that presence that he can really carry this, and he hits it emotionally as well, and very believable in times that he's sober and the times that he's drunk. And it's really uncomfortable to watch some of the sequences in this film because it is so real. And the rest of the ensemble I enjoyed quite a bit too. Like Ethan Hawke pops up in it, Sam Rockwell pops up in it, Steve Zahn and Richard Linklater, and then Chris Christopherson for a very small part. And they do a nice job of playing these supporting characters. And now I'm forgetting what his name is, but he was recently the father in 8th grade, and he pops up in this film as a pretty regular supporting character, and I think he did a really good job as well. And how this story is told, I really appreciate it, because we get to see different kinds of perspective on his story. It's non-linear. You're getting parts of his two former friends, one who was like a real friend, and another one who seemed to glorify his life on a radio talk show, talking about his life and gaining different perspectives. And are they really are they narrators that we could really trust in this story? And then you see parts of him performing his last concert. That's a big medium for how the story is being told, and then cutting back and forth with flashbacks throughout his time with his wife, and him dealing with his alcoholism, and him in his creative process. And the tone and the atmosphere, it's very tense at moments. There's one particular scene towards the end of this film that's really intense, really well put together, and you really feel emotionally for these characters, and it really does hit you. And it has a very, very fleshed out and realized atmosphere about it. There's a very distinct and clear vibe to the film. And Ethan Hawke does a really good job of putting this film together and creating such an interesting character on film, obviously based off of true events, but you still have to adapt it and create something. And he does a really good job directing this film as well. And Steve Cozens, who's the cinematographer, I think this was a really well shot film, and it has a very distinct look and vibe and use of color and graininess to make it feel a little bit older. And it really does deal with a lot of different kinds of things, and centrally around the idea of an artist and their creative process, and the balancing act of being somebody that is an artist and then the other parts of their lives, and trying to balance those things and really get something out of it. And the music by Blaze Foley was really well incorporated into this film. The use of his music really sets the stage a lot throughout the film. My big issues with the film, it meanders a lot. It kind of it's not going anywhere with a whole lot of conviction. I'm going to put it that way. It kind of goes along, it moves along at its own pace, and it's a bit too long. I felt like it didn't get to the point very quickly, and this is over a 2-hour movie, which I wasn't fully expecting. and the narrative isn't as focused as I probably would have liked it to be. But the thing is, everything else worked well enough that it didn't take away so much from the film for me to want to sit through and really explore this person's life and the events of his life and really getting a sense of it. If you love cinema and you're okay with a film that really takes its time and really delves real deep into character, this is a film for you. I would suggest going to check it out. I got to see it in a small indie theater near me. Try to go check this out. I'm not sure if it's at any AMCs as of right now, but if you get a chance, go check out Blaze, and thank you as always for checking out your Wasteland reviewer.